Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today we're going to be talking about this incident in Japan that I'm not going to lie made me giggle a little bit. We all know that street signs are important, traffic lights are important to keep the peace out there on the road, but every now and then they just collapse. Little do you know it's because your dog's peeing on it. Let's talk about it.
Nice rack and her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million.
Alright, so seriously, sometimes rules are dumb, but I think traffic rules are pretty important. People still suck at driving enough with everything we've got going on, so I think the last thing anyone wants is like streetlights to be falling down, but apparently dog pee is starting to make streetlights collapse in Japan. 2 times within the last few years they've had this problem. I figured we could talk about it. Dog pee caused a traffic pole to snap in Japan, and it's not the first time. The average light span for light poles in the country is 50 years, but it collapsed 23 years after it was installed. Honestly, you just gotta wonder what those dogs are up to in Japan, where their piss is like turning into acid, dude. They're literally starting to destroy and meld metal. They got the Magneto effect going on just for like relieving themselves on a light pole. Is this like the next weapon technology? Is they're gonna start using animals and weaponizing, their bodily functions? They're like, all right, we have dogs that pee acid, now we need cats that poop grenades. It's just like a simple weapon experiment we got going on here. A light pole mysteriously collapsed in Japan a few months ago, and police say they finally know who or what is to blame: dog pee. The 21-foot pole snapped at its base and was found lying in the bushes of a parking lot in the city of Suzuka on February 18th. You know how they give serial killers all a nickname, like they take the time, like Jack the Ripper. This guy's gonna be the light pole lumberjack, dude. What if it's just a guy who has a villain backstory as to why he hates light poles so much? He's like, when I grew up, there was an intersection in front of my house, and every time I would kick the soccer ball out there, the light would be green and cars would hit it. So now, every night, in the dead of night, I sneak off to the city and destroy a light pole to one day teach them that they cannot wrong humans, for we are their creators. Like everyone, he's just got some weird villain backstory as to why he hates light poles so much. Basically, I'm thinking of a Dr. Doofenshmirtz level villain here that just has a tragic backstory for why he hates very, very specific things. I think it would work. Like, honestly, though, what did police think it was when they first pulled up, dude? Like, there's no way dog pee springed into their mind first things first. If I pulled up to a light pole down, I would think somebody pushed it over, somebody did this on purpose. The last thing that would come to mind is like, maybe dogs have been peeing on this, and their pee has turned acidic somehow, so it's going to melt the metal, weaken it, and then it will collapse under its own weight. But that's why I'm not a detective. Maybe that's why. There's a list of other reasons, but maybe that's why. There was no apparent issues with the quality or the installation of the pole, according to the Mainichi, one of Japan's largest daily news outlets. The average lifespan for the country is 50 years, but the pole collapsed in 23 years after it was installed in 1997. Man, out of every other light pole around it, he was like super jealous of all the other ones. I know they're inanimate objects, but hypothetically in a Pixar movie world like Cars, where light poles are also sentient beings, this guy's just getting repeatedly peed on by dogs. Like, he feels his metal breaking underneath him. He's like, guys, come on. There's literally like 4 other traffic lights here. Can you pee on literally anything else? Like, give me a break. Can we rotate days here? Let's have an even odd system. Maybe like I'll take one harvest moon, you guys take the next one. What do you think? And all the other light poles are like, no, bro. Listen, the dogs really like to pee on you. It is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to be around for 50 years. I'm going to be honest, at the rate that those dogs are peeing on you, I'm going to guess you have, and he looks at his watch, he's like, 23 at best. Like, seriously though, I feel like this is a pretty large problem. Dogs pee on light poles everywhere. If this is really going to halve the life expectancy of light poles across the country, that's a pretty large expense. Like, all jokes aside, it would probably be pretty expensive to replace light poles twice as often as you previously thought. I don't think those are pretty cheap. I don't really know what goes into them, though. So what caused the steel traffic light pole to snap? The police department reported in July that forensic scientists detected 40 times more urea at the bottom of the pole compared to the found other amounts at the nearby poles. I'm gonna be honest, I thought that the Pixar light pole thing was gonna make absolutely no sense and I was gonna seem really stupid, but the fact that it was really 40 times stronger on this light pole compared to any other light poles in the area makes me feel pretty vindicated, if anything. Like, I'm like, hey, I might know a thing or two about dog pee patterns, which oh man, never mind, I still am weird. There was no way to walk out of that one, dude. I either knew a little bit too much about, like, light poles or dog pee. Those were my 2 options, or Pixar movies. None of these are good. Anyways, guys, back to Japanese light poles. Yeah, I just don't know why this pole in particular got picked then. I mean, I figured in most cities there's always like pretty obvious spots where dogs, congregate and do their business. But I wonder why none of the other poles had the similar effect, because it's not like, dogs aren't really holding it that long, are they? Like, is a dog on one side of the street, he's like, I would pee on this traffic light right here. This is a fine traffic light to pee on, but it's not as good as the traffic lights on that side of the street. He points his nose over there. He's like, those are the more supreme traffic lights to pee on, so I'm gonna hold it until then. Like, I just figured if the problem was peeing on traffic lights, it would be a problem on every traffic light. I don't know, man. Maybe that's just why I'm not a dog scientist. The traffic light was installed along a path that is popular among dog walkers, so authority says it's highly possible that the combination of urea and sodium found in dog urine caused the pole to erode faster. Officials are now encouraging pet owners to take their dogs to urinate elsewhere in hopes of preventing this from happening again. The pole has since been replaced, but police have reportedly confirmed that dogs have already begun to mark their territory on the newly installed pole. Oddly enough, this is not the first report of dog pee causing a pole to erode and snap in Japan. In 2016, the same newspaper reported that an iron light pole collapsed in Osaka and crushed a 10-year-old girl's hand, and the city government investigation found that dog urine was to blame. Well, I mean, geez, at least nobody was crushed this time, dude. Imagine how awful that was. Like, your hand gets crushed by a light pole. You're like, what was the cause? Dogs peeing. That was the cause, dude. Like, oh, that's a crappy reason to get my hand crushed. I love this, man. They really put a light pole there, and then we're like, please don't let your dogs pee on it. Please don't. Of course, they come back a week later, and people have been letting their dogs pee on the pole that's along the way of the dog walking track. I understand that, you're all supposed to do your thing to help out society, but it seems kind of silly to ask people to, like, take your dog across from the street to pee if he really wants to pee on this pole. Obviously, you should do it, help out or whatever, but I could also understand where, like, you may be not paying crazy close attention to notice that your dog is peeing, and then they're already peeing, and you're like, well, I can't yank the leash now because they're peeing. Next thing you know, they already peed on the pole. I'm sure there's a lot of that going on, but regardless, I just thought this was wild. If we start to see an influx of crazy accidents caused by, like, light poles collapsing anywhere in the U.S., just remember, it's probably the dog's pee. This is one of those things that will never come in handy until, like, a party 5 years from now when someone's like, oh, this light pole fell and hit my car. You'll be like, maybe the dog's peed on it. I'm just saying, keep it locked away in there. You never know when this information might become useful. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. And, of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on the notification bell. Other than that, if you want to help me out, link to the intro songs down below, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, or you can use code Scrubae at the G Fuel checkout, the best energy drink for gamers by gamers. Use code Scrubae there, of course. And yeah, other than that, if you look at your screen now, you'll see the Halloween merch. Very cool, very swagtastic, and you will find a link to that in the top of the description. On that note, though, guys, that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.